Hello everyone and welcome back to Bescheuertes kurzes Bein. Welcome back to my live coverage or our live coverage of live cricket. Today it will probably be only me. Can I get a check if there is audio? If anyone is already in the chat. Well, anyway, I will just start by saying hello, everyone. Welcome to the second T20 International of India's tour of Ireland. The first one marked the return of Jasprit Bumrah after a lengthy injury absence. He returned as captain right away. And he won a thriller in the first T20 that was severely affected by rain, as India won by 2 runs as per the DLS method. Let me just check the scorecard once again. Probably should have set this up in advance, but Cricinfo refused to cooperate. All right. Here we go. Oh yes. All right. So India, so Ireland. Made 139 runs for 7 in their innings. The standout score was Curtis Kempfer, who made 39, and of course, it was Barry McCarthy who made 51, then Curtis Kempfer who made 39. Not so many contributions otherwise from Ireland. And then it started to rain, and India's innings was severely shortened, and they were set a target of 40, and they made their target of 46 by DLS. By scoring 47 for the loss of 2 before the rain set in and forced the match to be abandoned. There were 2 runs ahead of the DLS par score, so that was the first win for India in this series. So as I see, the captains were out there earlier, and Ireland won the toss and chose to field. Let's go through the squads very, very shortly. For India, we have Jaiswal and Gaikwad, Varma, Samson as keeper, Rinku Singh, Shivam Dube, Washington Sundar, Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah as captain, Ravi Bishnoi and Prasidh Krishna. Ireland are lining up with Andy Balbirnie, captain Paul Stirling, keeper Lorcan Tucker, Harry Tector, Curtis Kempfer, George Dockrell, Mark Adair, Barry McCarthy, Craig Young, Josh Little and Ben White. Both these teams are unchanged from the first T20 International, which is not that much of a surprise. Yeah. Ireland choosing to field is rather an interesting choice. I would say, because it might give India the best of the batting conditions, and enabling them to set Ireland a rather imposing target in their chase. Let us see what's going on. Well, if anyone is watching, please do join us in the chat if you got any questions. You can also message me on my, where is it? On my Twitter handle over there somewhere. No, there. Over there at LinuxLear. Yeah, just drop us some lines, interact with me and with the other people that watch, with the other watchers, people in the chat, people on Twitter. Yeah, very welcome. We should be about 8 minutes away from the start of play. India, of course, heavy favorites for this second T20 international as well. So, what do we think about the squads, the teams? Jaiswal is now in all of the India national teams. And he made 24 of 23 in the first T20, which was a very, very handy contribution, I would say. India's top score in the first T20, together with his opening partner, Ruturaj Gaikwad, who ended the match on 19 not out of 16 balls. And that is always a rather important contribution in a T20. I think if your strike rate is around the 120 mark as an opener, which this one was at 118.75. What else can we expect from this match? I think some more bowling heroics from the captain Jasprit Bumrah would not be unwelcomed, I think. Let me just tell people on Twitter that we are live now. All right. So let's see what this day has in store for us. The weather forecast is really rather pleasant, so there should not be any Duckworth Lewis Stern shenanigans coming our way this lovely afternoon in Dublin, one would think. The umpire's out. The Irish team are now entering the field of play. Oh yes, and the English team as well. They're coming out for the national anthems, one would think. Let's check. Yes, indeed. They are now lining up for the national anthems. The trophy is presented, which I have to say is one of the more pleasant trophies for such a, well, one would say small series. Yes, and now the anthems start with the Indian one first, which of course gives us a bit of time to talk some other bollocks. All right, let's see if we have any notifications. Anyone trying to interact with us? Someone retweeted my announcement that we are now live. Let's see. Come on, people. Get in the chat. Ask me any questions. Let's hang out a bit. Let's see. Yep, still just me. All right. Well, I hope this will get better later in the match. Well, as I said, India heavy favorites in this matchup. But I think this is probably one of the formats in which Ireland will really rather like their chances to make an upset possible. Yes, there is not that much coverage of this match. I'm afraid otherwise, because there is the 100 going on at the moment in England, and so everyone in England seems to be obsessing over that. There is another T20 International going on at the same time as this one, and it is being played in Dubai, and it's between New Zealand and the United Arab Emirates. In the first match in that series, I think the Emiratis were able to upset New Zealand. UAE versus New Zealand. Yes, indeed. It's the second. It was the second. The first one was comfortably won by New Zealand, but in the second one, the Emiratis struck back. So this third match in the series in the UAE is not much of a dead rubber. The series win is still at stake. And well, can Ireland basically replicate what the United Arab Emirates did to New Zealand here in Malahide? As the Irish team are in a huddle, reminder they chose to field first. And the Indian openers are coming out, and it's Yashasvi Jaiswal and Ruturaj Gaikwad, as we were expecting. Interesting. Ireland chose to open the bowling with apparently Mark Adair, who... Oh, there's some sawdust put on the ground. Apparently there were some wet spots. Looked like at the bowler's run-up. There's an old chap with a bucket full of sawdust coming onto the field of play. And yes, indeed, it's Mark Adair with the ball in hand to open this second T20 International. And he will bowl to Jaiswal. Yes, and Gaikwad is at the non-striker's end. Let's see what the field looks like. They're just showing a lot of close-ups of the batsmen and the bowlers at the moment. And now some Tourism Ireland B-roll, something like that. Oh dear, and Mark Adair comes out of the blocks running, but running way too early. He's almost through the crease when the umpires give the signal to start play. Well, the next one is outside off, and there is no run as Jaiswal lets that go through. And the second one is clipped away into the leg side for a single. Jaiswal off the mark for 1 run. What was that? Yes, so now Gaikwad on strike for the first time in the match. What will Adair do here? This one is a good length on-off, and he defends it resolutely, one could say. Very determined defense, and there is no run. So after half an over, India are 1 for none. Yashasvi Jaiswal is on 1, while Ruturaj Gaikwad is on 0. The fourth ball is defended as well. India remain on 1-0 loss. So Adair in for his fifth. There is a slip in place for Adair, and Gaikwad just pushes that away for a single towards long on. India 2-0 loss. Bringing Jaiswal back onto strike for the final ball of the over. And this one is defended as well. Very good first over from Mark Adair. Two singles from it. India 2-0 after the first over. Very good start from Ireland here. Any over that goes for under 5 in any T20 international, I would say, is a really good over. And even if you are of the mind that these are not two top tier international sides, which is probably correct. There's no Rohit Sharma, there's no Virat Kohli for India, anything like that. The only real superstar is probably Jasprit Bumrah, the captain. If you were, well, a bit unkind, you could say this is a developmental squad of by India, but here we go. Josh Little into the attack for the second over for Ireland. And we have the first boundary. Pitch it up on leg. It swings a bit into him. And he clips that away for 4. Fine leg has no chance of getting that one. It passes him on his left. 4 runs for Gaikwad, who is on 5 of 4 now. India 6-0 loss. The next ball is defended again, and Little has a bit of a comeback here after that shock of the boundary of the first ball of the over. India remain on 6. Gaikwad on strike. 5 of 5 now. And this one is cut away by Gaikwad, but there is cover out in the deep. The sweeper picks it up and can keep England to a single. Yes, indeed, it is just a single, bringing Jaiswal back onto strike. India 7-0 loss after 1.3 overs. Josh Little, the bowler, he has gone for 5 of the first half of his over. Coming in now for the fourth ball of the over. And Jaiswal pulls that away imperiously. It is marginally short, and Jaiswal pulls that away. 4-4. India are starting to fire here, I think. They are now 11-0 loss. The next one is even better. Little bowls miscalculates maybe, and Jaiswal has the first 6 of the match. India 17 for no loss with one more ball in the second over to come. Let's see if there is anything in the chat or on social media. Please get in touch on the website formerly known as Twitter. My Twitter handle, former Twitter handle, is at LinuxLea, as you can see on the screen there. Last ball of the over is back of a length outside, and Jaiswal cuts it hard, but there is a deep third man, and Ireland can restrict India to a mere single. So India end the second over on 18 for no loss. That second over went for 16 runs. The current run rate is 9. And poor Josh Little has an awful economy rate of 16. Barry McCarthy now into the attack. And his first ball is punched past mid-wicket for a single. So Jaiswal now on 13 of 7, bringing Gaikwad back onto strike. Ruturaj Gaikwad is currently on 6 runs of 6 balls. McCarthy has surrendered 1 run this over. India 19 for no loss after 2.1 overs. And there is another single clipped away by Gaikwad. India keep rotating the strike here. 20 for no loss after 2.2 overs. Third ball of the over, another single for India. Jaiswal this time. That's a square drive through point, but there's cover in the deep. There's coverage in the deep. So India are kept to a mere single once again. So fourth ball of the over, McCarthy can bowl a dot, meaning India are still 21 for no loss. Let's see. If there is anyone in the chat. And the fifth ball of the over is a length ball outside off. It's a punch off the back foot by Jaiswal and a misfield by the Ireland fielder allows them a single. And Ireland pull in third man, and Jaiswal opens the face of the bat to guide that past that fielder that Ireland just brought up, and that's another boundary for him. And India are now 26 for no loss after after 3 overs, 8 runs from this third over, and Yashasvi Jaiswal has hit 18 runs off 10 balls, including 2 fours, a 6 at a strike rate of 180. Young now into the attack for Ireland. Craig Young. And the first ball is cut by Gaikwad through point, and they take a single. In now for the second ball of the over. And Jaiswal doesn't really connect. It's singled as a leg by. The ball doesn't leave the square, but there is no fielder there, and they basically steal a single. And now the second ball again. This one is cut away. No, it's not. It's of course not the second ball. It's the third ball. It's to Gaikwad now, and it's cut, but it's gobbled up near the boundary, and India are again restricted to a single. Now 29 for no loss after 3.3 overs, bringing Jaiswal back onto strike. And he bowls it short, and he pulls and miscalculates it. This one is caught. This pull by Jaiswal is caught at the boundary by... That is Curtis Kempfer. At the point boundary. Jaiswal was really looking good. He was starting to put runs on the board for India, and now he's out to... Let me see. His second delivery by Young. All right, so India are now, after 3.4 overs, 29 for 1, and that brings Tilak Varma into the middle for India here. Tilak Varma, 7 matches, 173 runs, a high score of 51, an average of around 43.5. Varma on strike, Young to bowl, and they take a single. Varma off the mark, first ball. That's another of those shots that doesn't really leave the square. It's played into the ground in front of point, and India steal a quick single. But Varma off the mark of the first ball. Next one. Gaikwad now trying to put some runs on the board. First boundary for him. Young goes too short and it's slapped over cover by Ruturaj Gaikwad. End of the fourth over. India are 34 for 1. 8 runs, 1 wicket of this over. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 14 of 12. Tilak Varma on 1 of 1. Craig Young has bowled 1 over, no maidens, conceded 7 runs, but he has taken the first crucial wicket. And Ireland bring back Barry McCarthy into the attack. Bowling to Varma. He pulls it, and that is high. Way too high, and it is caught. Varma gone for 1. Tilak Varma caught Dockrell, bowled McCarthy 1 of 2 balls at a strike rate of 50. And Ireland are doing very well here, one would say. The current Indian run rate is 8.07, but they have lost 2 wickets already inside the first 5. This brings Sanju Samson out into the middle, the Indian wicketkeeper. Right now, probably the second in the pecking order in India in terms of wicketkeepers, in the absence of Rishabh Pant, who is recovering from a automobile accident, from a car accident. He had a horrific crash shortly before Christmas, if I remember correctly. So now Samson in the picture, probably a bit behind Ishan Kishan in terms of World Cup keeping. He has played 24 matches, has a high score of 77 and an average of around 18.61. So let's see what McCarthy can do here, or what Samson can do here. It's a length ball on leg, and he plays it into the leg side. There is a misfield by mid-wicket. And he's off the mark with a single. So, anyone listening, yeah, I would love to hear from you, and just get in the chat. Let me know if everything is going fine here, sound-wise. The next one is a single from Gaikwad, who is now on 15 of 13. McCarthy 1 for 10 in 1.3 overs. India 36 for 2 after 4.3. Samson can't do much about the next one. From McCarthy, it's defended into the ground. There is no run. a dot of the fourth ball of the over. The next one is cut, and point misses it, but there is a sweeper out near the boundary and it's merely a single. For Samson, last ball of the over from McCarthy to Gaikwad, and that is defended relatively straight into the onside. McCarthy gets a hand on it on the ground. Can't really stop it all the way, but it's still a dot ball. So he ends his second over with figures of 1 for 11. At the end of the fifth, India are 37 for 2, 3 runs and 1 wicket of this Barry McCarthy over. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 15 of 14 balls, Sanju Samson on 2 of 3. And Ireland continue with little. First ball of the over is well steered down to third man, basically. That's a single for India. Samson onto 3 of 4, bringing Gaikwad back onto strike. This one is pulled through fine leg, but there is a fielder running around near the boundary. But it was enough time for India to run for a couple. So Gaikwad keeping the strike, now 17 of 15. About to face his second delivery of this over. And he looks for the drive, but he gets an inside or under edge. He's dangling the bat outside his off stump, gets an inside edge on it, and it bounces into the onside, but they still come through for a single. Samson on strike now for the fourth ball. And he steers that one down to long third man. Another single for India. They keep rotating the strike at least. Not that many boundaries yet. The Shashvi Jaiswal was basically the only one hitting them. And since he's been out, the pace has slowed down. And Another punch from Gaikwad through point, another single. India 43 for 2. And that's a really good cut by Samson. And the Island fielder have no chance to cut that off. That is a 4, and it is, if I see it correctly, yes, that's the first boundary for Sanju Samson in this match. India, after 6 overs, 47 for 2. Sanju Samson on 8 of 6. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 19 of 17. Josh Little, the bowler, 2 overs, no maidens, 26 runs, no wickets. The current run rate for India is 7.83 after 6 overs. And that's the point in the match where, or the point in the innings where the Irishmen decide to go for some leg spin. Ben White into the attack in his 20th match. He has taken 21 wickets in T20s. His best bowlings in an innings is 2 for 10. In he comes to Gaikwad, and this one is tapped into the leg side by Gaikwad for a single, bringing him on to 20 now. There wasn't really any movement in that one. Was on a length. Next one seems relatively gentle as well. It's defended back, and Ben White himself feels that after it touches the ground. The next one is a little bit short, but Samson can only pull it away for a single into the leg side. Good fielding by Ireland there. The next one to Gaikwad is a bit of a misfield by Ireland, and yes, Gaikwad gets a single, bringing Samson back onto strike for the 5th ball of the over, and it brings up India's 50 for 2 in 6.4 overs. Oh, hold on. There might be a bit of spin there for White. It turned away a bit, but Samson still gets hold of it and, well, plays it into the leg side for another single. And the last ball of the over, Ruturaj Gaikwad leans back on his back foot and pulls that one through the leg side for a boundary. There's no fielder there. Yes, no need to run for that. It was aerial about halfway to the boundary. And India, who bring up their 50 in this over, are now 55 for 2. 8 runs off this over. The current run rate is 7.85. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 25 of 20. And Sanju Samson 10 of 9. Ben White conceded 8 runs in his first overs. There are no wickets to his credit in this match so far. And Ireland continue with Young, who bowls to Samson, and he nudges that one backward of square leg. And there's a single for India in this. Yes, that brings the danger man Ruturaj Gaikwad back onto strike. He is the absolutely he's the scorer in this partnership, and another pull from Gaikwad. This one is too short, it's outside off, and he pulls it away again. 4 runs to the Indian total. There are now 60 for 2, and this one he swivels around, hammers it into the ground, and it runs away towards cow corner there. Another 4 for Ruturaj Gaikwad, bringing India to 60. It's kind of a swivel pull, and it goes out towards cow corner. There is no fielder there. India 64 for 2 after 7.3 overs. Young can pull it back a bit, as Gaikwad is only able to tap or push the 4th ball of the over towards the fielder at cover. Oh, it's more of a mid-off, I reckon. But anyway, plays it in the offside. There's a single. Yes, and the next one is clipped very square to the fielder by Samson. It's a fielder in the deep set there to save the runs. It's a single. India 66 for 2 after 7.5 overs. Last ball of the over to come, and this one is driven out to sweeper cover. Another single. India 67 for 2 after 8 overs, 12 of this over. The current run rate is 8.37. Gaikwad on 35 of 24, by far the more attacking batsman of this Indian lineup at the moment. This Indian partnership at the moment. Samson on 12 of 11. Craig Young, the bowler, he has figures of 2 for no maidens, 19 runs and 1 wicket. Ireland will be relatively happy with that, one would think. Now for the 9th over, and it's Ben White again. Ireland returning to spin here. And it's tossed up on leg, and it's eased away for a single by Gaikwad. Next one, Samson tries the drive, gets it aerially, and is lucky that it doesn't really carry to the fielder at mid-off. Another single for India here. Next one is pushed out to point, basically. Another single. India's run rate coming down a bit here. Umpire signals a dead ball here. Probably because the batsman wasn't ready yet for the delivery. Let's see. White in for his fourth ball. There's a cover drive, but only a single again by Gaikwad as the fielder gobbles it up and throws it back in. Fifth ball of the over. And he nearly chops that on. Gaikwad nearly chops that on. It spun a little bit into him. I think he nearly chops it on. It's a dot. Last ball of the over. Played out to point. And there is a single to end the over. So, India now 72 for 2, 5 runs off this 9th over. The current run rate is now 8. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 38 of 28 balls. Sanju Samson 14 of 13. And Ben White has 2 overs, no maidens, 13 runs conceded and no wicket. And India bring back Malahide, who bowled the first over for only 2 runs. And his first delivery is clipped through mid-wicket for a single by Ruturaj Gaikwad. Sanju Samson now on strike. And he plays it past mid-on. That didn't look like a very precise shot. It's a kind of on drive. Didn't seem to run away that fast. He nearly hit his batting partner there. But yes, the mid-on was positioned, was in the wrong place. And that's another 4 to Sanju Samson. The next one is a bit shorter by Adair, and it's pulled into the hands of the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Not before bouncing though, so no harm, no foul. Another single for India. The next one is a wide by Adair, which the umpire calls for height. So he will have to bowl that one again, I'm afraid. Yes, that's a wide call on height. Absolutely justified that call. Next one is, well, steered down to third man, and they take another single. India 80 for 2 after 9.4 overs. The current run rate is 8.28, and Mark Adair has now conceded 10 runs in 1.4 overs. Very good performance from him, though. Keeping India to 2 runs in the first over. That was really good. Next ball is a really late cut from Samson, which brings him only a single. As the fielder is coming around and throwing it back in. So, last ball of the over to come. And it's a dot by Adair to Gaikwad. So, at the end of the 10th over, India are 81 for 2, 9 runs off this over by Adair. The current run rate is 8.1. Gaikwad on 40, Samson on 20. Mark Adair on 20. Mark Adair has bowled 2 overs now. Conceded 11 runs and taken no wickets. But that first over was magnificent, keeping India to just 2 off the first over of a T20 international. Well, let's see if anyone else wants to interact with us. Nothing yet on Twitter. Let's see if there's anything in the YouTube chat. Nope. Well, and to bowl the 11th over, Ireland bring back Josh Little. And his first ball is punished. Over the covers by Samson. That is 4 runs. And another one. Another 4 from Samson here. Slapped over extra cover. Yes. First one over cover, second one over extra cover. That's the acceleration that India definitely need at this stage of the game, one would say. And the third ball of the third over from Little. Steaming in. Oh, and he just steers that through where a first slip would have been. It's a very full ball, and Samson dangles out his bat outside the off stump. There is no first slip, and the keeper reacts too late. That runs away through all the way through empty space out where third man probably should have been, or where a sweeper should have reached it, for another 4 runs. The next one is merely punched out to mid-off. There is no run. Samson still on strike. 5th ball of Josh Little's third over coming up now. And that one is pulled. That one is pulled behind square. And it is 6 runs. And that is Sanju Samson's first 6. And it's the only 6 hit by both of these batsmen out in the middle so far. India are 99 for 2. Can they bring up their 100 in this, the 11th over of their innings? Samson still on strike, too little. There's a bit of a conference going on between Little and McCarthy while the umpire is retrieving the ball. There are some concerned faces. McCarthy has his hands folded behind his back while Little seems very animated. Can't make out what they're saying though, probably discussing strategy. Or, you know, because they're Irish, just cussing out India. Last ball of the over. Josh Little to Sanju Samson. Here we go. And this one dribbles through harmlessly to the keeper. No run. India, after 11 overs, remain on 99 runs for 2 wickets. 18 runs of this over though. And all of them to Sanju Samson, who moves on to 38 of 22 balls. Ruturaj Gaikwad on 40 of 31 balls. The current run rate is 9. And Josh Little's figures are 3 overs bowled, 44 runs conceded, no wicket taken. Craig Young back into the attack. And he's bowling to Gaikwad. His figures so far are 1 for 19. That's an awkward shot too long off from Gaikwad to bring up India's 100 of the first ball of this Young over. India 100 for 2 after 11.1. Samson back on strike. He's on 38 of 22. And that is rather far outside, or rather wide outside off. It's not a wide, but it's well outside off. And he awkwardly tries to cut it, but only manages to chop it into the ground where it is fielded by the keeper. There is no run. Next one, clipped into the leg side where it is stopped by mid-on, keeping India to another single. Young looks a bit disappointed by the fielding effort of his teammate there, whose name I couldn't really make out. Only seen him from a weird or awkward angle. In for the 4th of the over. This one is pulled, but it's fielded way out in the deep. And that's another single. 2 balls remaining in this Craig Young over. Sampson is back on strike. Let's see what happens here. It bounces weirdly into the offside. It's fielded by the captain, Paul Sterling. Who threatens a run out, but no chance. And another single to end the over. India 104 runs for 2 wickets, 5 runs of this, the 12th over. The current run rate is 8.66. Gaikwad on 43 of 34 balls. Sampson now the aggressor in this Indian partnership. He is 40 of 25 balls. Craig Young has bowled 3 overs for 24 runs, but he has taken a wicket. Looks like Ireland are going back to spin, giving Ben White his 3rd over. That one is clipped for a single. Sampson now on a strike to Ben White. And he chops it on. It's chopped on by Sanju Sampson, who has to go for 40. Sanju Sampson is out, bowled White, 40 of 26 balls at a strike rate of 153.84. Not a bad innings by any means, but India and Sampson will be disappointed he got out at the time that he did, because he was really starting to get going. After playing kind of an anchor role during the first part of this partnership he had with Ruturaj Gaikwad. Well, that brings into the middle Rinku Singh in his 2nd match. He has scored no runs, has a high score of 0 and a non-existent average so far in T20 internationals. Let's see what he can do here. He's marking his guard now, readjusting his batting gloves, doing a few stretches. Out for some gardening, of course. Now he's taking guard. And the first one is played out to backward point for a single, and Rinku Singh is off the mark in T20 international cricket. Yes, congratulations, Rinku Singh. Welcome to the circus. India 106 for 3. Gaikwad placed it out to backward point for another single. White now has figures of 1 for 16 after 2.4 overs. Rinku Singh back on strike. But he can't add to his T20 international career runs. As this is a dot, Rinku Singh 1 of 2. And now for the last ball of the over. Driven to deep backward point. And young Rinku Singh in his second T20 international is farming the strike here with Ruturaj Gaikwad on the other end. End of the 13th over, India are 108 for 3. 4 runs, 1 wicket from this, the third Ben White over in this innings, in this match. The current run rate is 8.3. Rinku Singh on 2 of 3 balls, Ruturaj Gaikwad 45 of 36, and Ben White has figures of 3 overs, 17 runs, and 1 wicket. Well, Sterling decides to bowl out Craig Young, the right fast medium pacer. And he will bowl to Rinku Singh, who farmed strike at the end of the last over. And here is Young. And it is full on middle. And it is punched away by Rinku Singh for a single. It is fielded at mid-off, but India go through for a quick single, bringing Rinku Singh on to 2 now. So Ruturaj Gaikwad on 45 to face Young. This one is played to long on where it is fielded, and India can only go through for another single. Well, while we see pictures, apparently yesterday there was a tree that collapsed onto the stands at Malahide, and they had to cut the fallen tree basically out of the stands. Interesting. The next ball is another single for Rinku Singh, who is now on 4 after 13.3 overs. Well, anyone listening, do join me in the chat. What do you think of this Rinku Singh? Good find for India. What do you think? He, of course, didn't have that much of a chance to shine during the first T20. Looking really good here, though, I think. doesn't have the boundaries to show for it yet, but he doesn't look bad facing this Ireland attack. Well, there are some more dots and singles to end the over. After 14, India are 113 for 3. 5 runs from this over. From Craig Young, who is now bowled out. The current run rate for India is 8.07. And Rinku Singh is on 5 of 7 and Ruturaj Gaikwad on 47 of 38. Craig Young has been bowled out and he has conceded 29 runs and taken 1 wicket. Well, Ben White into the attack, and the first ball is pulled by Singh. No, it's not really a pull, it's a sweep. He goes down on his knee, sweeps it into the gap, 4 runs. Excellent shot. Next one is on a length, somewhere in the vicinity of the off stump, and punched out to deep point. Rinku Singh takes a single here against Ben White, and Gaikwad is back onto strike. Can he bring up his 50? He's on 47, and there's another sweep. And the fielder's dive is in vain, and Ruturaj Gaikwad can indeed bring up his 50 in style. He is 51 of 39 balls, bringing up his 50 with a boundary, and Ben White has figures of 1 for 26 in his last over. This one is defended. Gaikwad sends back Singh, who seems a bit over-eager at the non-striker's end to add to the total. There really wasn't a run there, or it was if there was a run, it was a very, very risky one. White back, and Gaikwad launches him straight over his head, past the stands. That's a 6. That's a 6, and that brings India to 128 for 3. Yes, he comes forward onto one, down on one knee, and he absolutely pummels him over his head. That's a 6. Oh, there's a shot of a mother and her daughter in the crowd following that shot. A bit of shock on the faces, as they are obviously Ireland supporters. Yeah, I'm sorry, gals. But that was a really good shot. Come on, if anyone is watching this, come into the chat. hit us up on Twitter, and of course, like this video, give it a thumbs up. That's really, really, really important for the visibility of these live streams. Yeah, you can't imagine how important that is for small channels like mine. Otherwise, the algorithm really, really doesn't care about you. All right, we have... Oh, we have McCarthy for his third over. His figures are 1 for 11 after 2 overs, and he is going to bowl the 16th over, and he's going to face the half centurion, Ruturaj Gaikwad, first up. This is not good. It loops up from Gaikwad, it loops up straight down the ground, and it is taken safely relatively far in from the boundary. And this is he's pitched it up. He may be too slow on the stroke, and the ball just balloons up in the air, and Gaikwad is out 58. Caught Tector bowled McCarthy. Yes. Excuse me. That brings Shivam Dubey out into the middle for India, who are now 129 for 4 after 15.1 overs. Yes, Shivam Dubey in his 15th match today, high score of 54 at an average slightly below 18. And he can't get off the mark of the first delivery he faces from McCarthy. India remain on 129 for 4. Let me just see what's happening to my stream here. I seem to have a few problems with my stream. Is it back? I think it is. Nope. Let me just write a little tweet. Maybe some people might want to join us. Okay. Not much happened. There were a few singles, dots. A dot, yes. And now we have India after 15.4 on 131.4 overs. Rinko Singh on 11 of 10, Shivam Dubey on 1 of 2, and McCarthy has figures of 2 for 13. And Dubey is facing. Pulled into the ground. India take another single. India 132.4. One to go. Barry McCarthy to Rinku Singh. And that is a dot. India after 16 are 132 for 4. That last dot was a weird one. Singh tried to play an uppercut, kind of missed it, and is very, very lucky that he didn't get an edge onto that, because it goes straight through to the keeper, who takes it no problem. Very, very lucky there. Yes, but because he doesn't throw his wicket away, India remain on 132 for 4 after 16 overs. There were 3 runs and 1 wicket in this third Barry McCarthy over. Rinku Singh is on 11 of 11 and Shivam Dubey is on 2 of 3. Barry McCarthy has figures of 3 overs, 40 runs and 2 wickets. Oh, look at that. There is a pitch invasion going on. There's a streaker. There is a streaker, and it's some kind of fluffy white dog with a very, very long tongue. Yeah, but it's nothing major. And Josh Little back into the attack to Shivam Dubey, who cuts this for a single as it is fielded at deep point. Ireland's players, Ireland's fielders here, I think it's Ben White, using every opportunity to give autographs to fans at the boundary, who stick photos and markers into their faces from the seats. And Ben White, absolute legend here, using every opportunity between balls to give autographs to the young fans. Amazing scenes here at Malahide, I have to say. Well, anyway, that was another single, this time from Rinku Singh, who moves on to 12. And Little is back in, this time to Dubey again, and he hits him. Dubey tries to pull this one, is way too fast through his swivel motion, gets hit in the chest. Yes, almost in the armpit, and they steal a leg bye there. fans of India in the stands are having an absolute blast. They are by far the most numerous fans in the stands, but there seems to be no bad blood between these two teams here and the two fan contingents. There's another single after that leg by, which is then followed by a dot by Dubé. Last ball of the 17th over. And there is another flick for a single from Dubé, and India end the 17th on 137 for 4. And Ireland bring back Mark Adair, who has conceded only 11 runs in 2 overs thus far, putting his economy at 5.5 as compared to India's current run rate, which is almost 8. And he's in, and there is a pull by Dubé, but it's fielded. Safely behind square. There's only a single. And India are 138 for 4. Mark Adair moves on to 12 runs. 0 for 12. Second ball. This looks like a slower ball to me, and Rinku Singh works this through point for another single. Third ball of the over will then be faced by Shivam Dubé, and this is called a wide. Yes, on height again. This is called on height as a wide again, and that means India now 140 for 4, and Adair will have to deliver this third ball of the over again. But Dubé can't really punish him for that, as he tries to pull it, hits it into the ground straight in front of Mark Adair, and he feels it, and there is no run. Mark Adair so far, he has 97 international wickets in T20 international matches, and well, he's he has a little over 1 over's worth of bowling in this match left to reach the milestone in this match now. There he comes, and this is swatted too long on, and they can't take more than a single. He tried to pull it, but it goes straight to the deep fielder. Around mid-on. Shivam Dube back on strike. And he hits that really, really hard. A very very hard drive, but he's starting to find the fielders with quite some accuracy, as this one goes straight to long off for just another single. After 18 overs, in India are 143 for 4. The run rate a tad below 8 at 7.94. Rinku Singh is on 15 of 15 and Shivam Dube is on 7 of 11. Mark Adair has bowled 3 overs. He has conceded 17 runs and he has taken no wicket. Well then. Who will bowl the most crucial over of every T20 innings, which is, of course, the 19th over? And Paul Stirling's answer to this is Barry McCarthy. McCarthy has so far bowled 3 overs. He has taken 2 wickets for 14 runs, which is an amazing return in this T20. But the first ball of the over slips out of his hand, goes very, very, very wide and is called as such. He'll have to do that again, I'm afraid. Yes, it's borderline a no ball because I don't think it would have landed on the square. Pulled too deep mid wicket, and there's another single. Bringing Rinku Singh back onto strike. McCarthy coming in now. And this is sliced over the infield by Rinku Singh, and the sweeper out near the boundary can do nothing about that. That's 4 runs. That's a much needed boundary for India by Rinku Singh. Yeah, that was the first boundary for quite some time. Barry McCarthy now coming in for his 3rd ball of the over. And Singh does it even better, clobbers him over his head, very, very straight into the onside. That's a 6. And India are 155 for 4. And Rinku Singh is suddenly 25 of 17. This is an acceleration that India definitely needed. They needed it desperately, and they would have probably taken it 1 or 2 overs earlier. But as you always say, it's really rather hard to do if there are 4 wickets already down. Let's see. The next one is a wide outside the leg stump from McCarthy, and he'll have to bowl that one again. Here he comes in again, McCarthy. And that has to be a wide again. This time on height. This time it has to be on height. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's another wide on height. India 157 for 4 after 18.3 overs. Rinku Singh remains on strike. Yeah, that looked like a wide call on height. So McCarthy now his 6th ball, his 7th ball of the over, but only probably his 4th legal. And this is picked up by Rinku Singh, and he doesn't let it down until it crosses the boundary. That is a 6 for Rinku Singh, who is now 31 of 18. Yes. Yes, this is quite good. After the umpires checked it, probably with a TV umpire, they concur with me. This is a 6. Rinku Singh is 31 of 18, and McCarthy still has 2 more balls to go this over. First of those is swatted by Rinku Singh, but he can only get a single as Long On fields it. That brings Shivam Dube onto strike for the last ball of that, so far, not really bad 19th over from an Indian perspective. Last ball of the over. McCarthy is coming in. Is he? Yes, now he is coming in. Dube hits it high in the air. But it's dropping safe. And yes, that's an ugly hoik by Shivam Dube. It goes high into the air, but it falls safely between 2 fielders in no man's land. And Dube gets to farm the strike for the final over of the Indian innings. Will this cost India? Because at the end of the 19th, India are 165 for 4 with Shivam Dubey on 9 of 13 and Rinku Singh on 32 of 19. Who will it be but Mark Adair to bowl the final over of this Indian innings? And oh dear. Shivam Dubey just flicked Mark Adair all the way for 6 off the first ball of the over. It's a full toss, and Rinku Singh and Shivam Dubey doesn't do anything wrong here. Flicks him all the way. 6 runs. India 171 for 4. Adair coming in again, and this time it's not a full toss. It's more in the slot, and well, the result is the same as the full toss. This one's gone for 6 as well, and Shivam Dubey has just hit consecutive 6s. I think that is the first time in the innings we have seen that. India 177 for 4. He tries to punish the next one, doesn't really get a hold of it, but can count himself lucky that it falls safely in front of the fielder. And that means that Rinku Singh on 32 of 19 comes onto strike at the death of this Indian innings in the 20th over that is bowled by Mark Adair. Three more balls to go. Rinku Singh taking guard, taking strike, and he flicks him all the way as well. Adair has conceded 3 6s and a single so far in 4 balls in this 20th over. The Indian run rate is 9.36. Ireland could well face a 200-run chase here in the second T20 International in Malahide in Dublin. Well. But next time isn't that lucky for Rinku Singh as he gets a top edge skies one, and it is safely taken. Yes, it is safely taken by fine leg. Rinku Singh departs. Caught young, bolted there, 38. Not bad at all. That means one ball in the over still to come, and it's Washington Sundar out into the middle. What will Adair do here? It's short, and Sundar attempts the ramp, can't get it. They run anyway, as it's the last ball of a T20 innings. There is an attempted run out that doesn't pan out. Nope. That's just one by off the last ball of the 20th over, meaning India end their innings on 185 for 5 at a run rate of 9.25. The not out batsmen are Washington Sundar on 0 and Shivam Dube on 24. Let's look at major contributions to this India innings. We have Ruturaj Gaikwad with 58, Sanju Samson with 40, Rinku Singh 38, and Shivam Dube, who was not out, 22. The outstanding bowler for Ireland was Barry McCarthy, who took 2 wickets, went at 9 and over, and there were 3 other wickets taken, one by Mark Adair, who also went at 9 and over, and Craig Young took one, the most economical of Ireland's wickets, as all Irish bowlers bowled their full allotment of 4. And, well, leg spinner Ben White also took one at 8.25. That means the target for Ireland after the innings break will be 185 runs. Thank you very much so far. I will be back in about 10 to 15 minutes time after the innings break. I'm sorry, but I will have to take a little break as well. But please do not be deterred from writing in. Let's hear what you think about this match, and I will see you in a few minutes. Bye. Until then, do not go anywhere else. And welcome back, everyone, to the chase in the second T20 International of this tour between Ireland and India from Malahide. Well, there was a relatively late surge from India in the first innings, primarily from Rinku Singh and oh dear, Shivam Dubey. After Ruturaj Gaikwad laid a very good foundation with a 58. The target for Ireland is now 186. The Indian team is in a huddle. The Irish openers are coming out, and they are. Andy Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. Balbirnie to face the first ball, and it's going to be the Indian captain, Jasprit Bumrah, to open the Indian attack in his second match back from injury. India could well use two early wickets from Bumrah, as in the last match, to steady their nerves and to reassure their bowling attack that they can do this. They can absolutely defend this target of 186 their batsmen set Ireland to achieve. Well then, Bumrah in, and Balbirnie tries to defend this, plays it with a very, very straight bat, misses it completely though. So Ireland, after the first delivery of Jasprit Bumrah, are none for none. Oh, that nipped a bit past his outside edge. Second delivery now, Bumrah. This time, not much movement, and Balbirnie defends it out into the offside. There is no run. He plays that with a very, very straight bat, and it just prods out into the covers. Third ball of the over. Oh dear. That misses everything. There's movement. He puts it on a good length, and it just moves. And it misses Balbirnie. Goes around his legs. And it also evades Sampson, and it's also called a wide. Goes down to the boundary. 5 wides. In Ireland are 5 for no loss after 0.3 overs. And that's another dot ball from Bumrah. Oh. The next one nips, is angled in. And Balbirnie really doesn't know what to do with this one. And it has him in a pinch and hits him. And Bumrah appeals furiously. He's not given. But India have decided to review this one. Let's see. India will need a clear LBW from the third umpire here, as the on-field decision was not out. Let's see. Yeah, this is pitching on off stump, I would say. Off stump and middle maybe. Pitching in line. Now there's ultra edge. There is no edge. The first sound is when it thumps into his front pad, but well above the knee roll. Almost in, yeah. But it's umpire's call on hitting the wickets. It would have clipped the top of leg, actually. And if that would have been given out, it could have been given out, I think. And Hawkeye seems to agree with me. Anyway, as it is umpire's call, the decision the on-field decision remains, but India retain their review as there is an umpire's call in there. Next ball, Balbirnie misses everything. He steps outside the leg stump, tries to swing it, misses everything. Samson gathers it cleanly. There is no run. Last ball of the over is flicked into the leg side. There are two fielders chasing. A relay stop. But it's enough time for Ireland to run 3. End of the fourth over. Ireland are 8 for no loss. Andy Balbirnie is on 3 of 6. Paul Sterling hasn't faced anything. Jasprit Bumrah has figures of 1 overbowled, 8 runs conceded, no wickets. The current run rate is 8. Exactly. The required run rate from this point forward is 9.36. In other words, Ireland need 178 from 114 balls. Let's just post a little tweet. All right, so let's see if we have any new chat messages. Nope. Nothing else on social media. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Do join us. No, do join us and get in touch. So you go away. Okay. going to post this. Yes, okay, so now it's okay. Well, what did we miss? We had 1 over of Arshdeep Singh, which went for 10 runs, of which 4 were faced by Balbirnie and 2 by Sterling. And there were 1 wide from Arshdeep, 2 fours, and 1 single from Balbirnie, taking Ireland to 18 for no loss after 2. 10 runs of the over. Current run rate is 9. Required run rate has come down to 9.33, and Ireland need 168 from 108 balls. Paul Sterling on none of 2, Andy Balbirnie on 12 of 10. Arshdeep Singh has figures of 1 over bowled, 10 runs conceded, and no wicket taken. Well, the broadcast is showing us pictures of an e-scooter. I would say not these things that stand around in urban centers, but a scooter with an electric drive. Probably a prize for player of the match or something like that. So, Prasid Krishna is to replace Arshdeep Singh, and his first delivery is clipped away for a single to deep square leg. Balbirnie on 13 now. The next one is a dot to Sterling. And the third ball of the over is a top edge by Paul Sterling, who has to go for a 4-ball duck. Caught Singh, bowled Krishna, and India have their first breakthrough in the third over of the innings. That brings Lorcan Tucker at number 3 out into the middle, where he will have to face Prasid Krishna for at least 1 ball, maybe more. Tucker now marking his guard. Very experienced player, 59 T20 internationals by Irish standards, that is. And Krishna is in, and it's a dot as Tucker is squared up by this. There's a fairly good amount of movement off the seam, I would say. It's a possible leg before wicket, but everyone seems to agree that this was either too high or going down leg. Yes, and they've decided against the review. Review timer ticks down to 0 without anyone going up. Ireland remain 19 for 1. Next ball is defended back to the bowler, who fields it. There is no run. And the next one is a gimme that nearly goes down as two Indian fielders can't decide who wants to get it. Both seem to grab for it, and it's a miracle that it's not put down by two fielders catch. Yes, Ruturaj had his hands right above his teammate there, and he takes the catch and then runs into him, but doesn't let go of the ball. So that's a bizarre scene here. Anyway, Lorcan Tucker has to go for another duck, the second of the Ireland innings after Sterling's. Tucker caught Gaikwad, bowled Prasid Krishna 0, and Ireland are 19 for 2 after 3 overs. This over brought 1 run and 2 wickets. The current run rate has dropped to 6.33, and the required run rate is climbing back towards 10. Ireland need 167 runs from 102 balls. The new batsman in is Harry Tector now. And Arshdeep returns for the 4th over. But Tector will be the non-striker, and Balbirnie is facing Arshdeep Singh here for his first ball, which is a dot. Second one is steered out towards point. Fielders running in, but they can steal a single. So Tector on strike for the first time in this innings. Interesting here. Interesting development. The left-handed bowler Arshdeep Singh is changing to around the wicket to the right-handed Tector, and produces another dot for his sides. Produces another dot. Yes. Fourth ball of the over to come. Still round the wicket. Tector tries to steer it again, but there's a fielder running in, cutting it off, and preventing the single. Another dot. Arshdeep now has figures of none for 11 of 1.4 overs. Coming in for the fourth ball of his over. And Tector once again fields the fielder in the point region. There is no run. Last ball of the over from Arshdeep Singh to Harry Tector around the wicket, and he pulls it out to deep fine leg, and who stops the ball, hands it over to the fielder coming from deep mid wicket, who throws the ball back into the square. Like a relay catch, but about a meter in front of the boundary. Very, very weird, that one. And it brings 2 runs to Ireland, meaning at the end of the fourth over, Ireland are 22 for 2. Harry Tector on 2 of 4 and Andy Balbirnie on 14 of 13. The bowler is Arshdeep Singh, who has bowled 2 overs for 13 runs and no wickets. And Prasid Krishna is back into the attack for his second over, and he has figures of 2 for 1. First ball is a dot ball, but apparently he has cranked up the speed to over 140 kilometers per hour. The second ball is defended back into the ground, fielded by Krishna, who tries to throw down the wicket as the batsman has come out of his crease a bit, but he only manages to hit Balbirnie on the bounce. He very, very surreal scenes or bizarre scenes. He apologizes to him. Anyway, it's another dot ball. Yeah, this didn't look good from Krishna. Very unsportsmanlike, I would say, because I don't think that Balbirnie was really out of his crease when he flung that throw at him. Don't do that. Next one is a dot without any contact. Ooh, and the next one is dropped at extra cover. It's Ruturaj Gaikwad, who leaps but can't take control of the ball. They come through for a single, and yeah. Really, it's a really difficult chance. He gets his fingertips to the ball, but that's it. Very, very hard chance. But still, technically a drop. I'm sorry. Next one is again played to Gaikwad at extra cover. And that's another single, this time by Tector. And a dot by Balbirnie to round out the over, bringing Ireland to 24 for 2 after 5, 2 runs from this over. The current run rate is 4.88. The required run rate is now creeping towards 11 runs and over. Andy Balbirnie is 15 from 18, and Harry Tector is 3 from 5. Prasid Krishna has bowled 2 overs. He has conceded 3 runs and has taken 2 wickets. Well, Krishna will be the only Indian bowler to bowl 2 overs, as Jasprit Bumrah sends Ravi Bishnoi into the attack. And his first ball is an inside edge that evades everything for 4 runs. There's no chance for Samson. An interesting idea by India to bring in leg spin this early. And it pays off on the second ball of his over. There's a wrong one from Ravi Bishnoi, and it goes through the defenses of Harry Tector, who, I don't know if he got an inside edge to that. It looks suspiciously a bit like he can get an inside edge on that. Anyway, Harry Tector has to go for 7, bowled Ravi Bishnoi, and that brings Curtis Camphor out into the middle. And one would say that was a wicket that India desperately needed to keep them on top, as they as well lost 2 quick wickets, and Ireland are now a bit behind on the run rate, or behind the score that India were at the same stage during their innings. Camphor defends his first ball for no run. Yeah. The next one is a leg break that doesn't really turn much. It's slog swept against the spin and fielded at deep mid wicket, but not before Ireland can come through for a couple. Fifth ball of the over to come up now. Ravi Bishnoi is in around the wicket, and there is no run as Camphor just plays that to point. Last ball of the over. Still right arm over the wicket, and it's played to long on, and there is a single. At the end of 6 overs, Ireland are 31 for 3. This over brought them 7 runs and cost them 1 wicket. The current run rate is 5.16 and the required run rate is now in excess of 11. Curtis Kempfer is 3 of 4 and Andy Balbirnie is 15 of 18. Ravi Bishnoi has bowled 1 over, conceded 7 runs and taken 1 wicket. That's the end of the first power play, and India seem to have decided to stay with spin and bring Washington Sundar into the attack. In the first over after the power play. Sundar to face Kempfer now. Sundar is going around the wicket, right arm around the wicket to the right-handed batsman. And that is a dot ball fielded near the square on the offside. They decide not to take a run. And the next one is cut away for a single. Andy Balbirnie is on strike for Ireland, facing Washington Sundar, who has figures of none for 1 after 0.2 overs. And oh dear, this is swept all the way. It's an unholy slog sweep by Balbirnie. Drops down on one knee and no fielder has any chance of laying any finger on that. Next ball does it again. This time Arshdeep is relatively close to it, but can't prevent the boundary. Consecutive force to Andy Balbirnie of Washington Sundar here. And Ireland are 40 for 3. Over the wicket now, Sundar to Balbirnie, and he can keep him down to a single into the leg side. Back over the wicket again to Kempfer. There's a misfield at point by India, and Ireland take another single. End of the 7th over, Ireland are 42 for 3. 11 runs of this over. The current run rate has climbed up to 6.0. Again, the required run rate is still over 11 though. Ireland need 144 runs from 78 balls. Who will bowl the 8th over? Apparently it will be Ravi Bishnoi, who has thus far bowled 1 over, taken 1 wicket and conceded 7 runs. Here we go. And it is Bishnoi to Kempfer. Goes for a sweep. It's a really premeditated shot. He's going down before Bishnoi even releases the ball, and there is no run. Second ball is a wrong one. Kempfer manages an inside edge, but is unable to take a run. Bishnoi round the wicket. And this is a single into the leg side by Kempfer. Bishnoi is adjusting his field, but I can't see what the fielders are doing. They are very much concentrated on the pitch. And the next one is a wide down the leg side from Bishnoi to Balbirnie. And, well, I fear he'll have to do this one again. Is this an Ireland collapse? Is a target of 186 too much for them? Let me know in chat, or if you want on the website previously known as Twitter. And I have a Twitter message, an X message. No, I'm still calling it tweets. X is a stupid name for a website. It's from the Ocelot of Doom, and he wishes me good luck with the coverage. Thank you very much, Ocelot of Doom. He was here during the Women's Ashes and stuff like that, and we know each other for a long time. Have been knowing each other for a long time from Twitter. So thank you very, very much. I'm thinking it's going relatively well, considering the fact that today I got up at 6, was out of the house at 7, in the train by 7:30, and back home by 1:15. Because Friday and Saturday we were in Cologne because my mother-in-law had her birthday. So we took the train over there on Friday and hopped on the train back home to Hanover this morning. And yeah, didn't get off to the best of starts, but I think I've pulled it back quite a bit. So thank you very much. Anyone who's listening to this. Well, what have we missed here then? Bishnoi conceded another maximum, a boundary, a 6 to Curtis Kempfer, bringing Ireland to 43 for 3 at the end of 8 overs. And Curtis Kempfer is on 13 of 12 and Andy Balbirnie on 25 of 22. The required run rate is now 6.62. No, the current run rate is now 6.62. The required run rate is 11.8. I apologize. India now bring on Shivam Dubey, one of India's more, well, gentle pace bowlers, and I guess, or I would I would argue that Ireland have to go after him. Which they don't really do for the first 3 balls of his over, as he concedes only 2 runs off the first ball, a couple to Balbirnie. The fourth is a single, so he has conceded 3 runs of the first 4 balls of his over. The next one is pulled relatively hard, but they take only a single as it is fielded out in the deep by, I think that was Rinku Singh. Last ball of the over for Shivam Dubey, which is bowling to Andy Balbirnie, and it is right arm over the wicket, and he plays it out to extra cover, fielded without any hesitation, and that is another dot ball. So after 9 overs, Ireland are 57 for 3, 4 runs off this 9th over. The current run rate is now 6.33. The required run rate is creeping towards 12. Andy Balbirnie is 28 of 27 balls. Curtis Kempfer is 14 of 13. And Shivam Dubey has bowled 1 over and conceded 4 runs. As we see some shots from Ireland's coast, and India have decided to stay with spin as Ravi Bishnoi is back into the attack, who bowls over the wicket to Curtis Kempfer, and there is 1 run. The next one to Balbirnie results in another run, as we see well, I guess for the relatively small audience, relatively impressive beer snake in the stands here. I don't know what the attendance figures are, but I guess you can't fault the attendees not for not producing beer snakes, the likes of which would make Bay 13 blush. Anyway, we have another couple followed by another single. From Kempfer, bringing Balbirnie now onto strike. And that's another single, meaning Kempfer will face the last ball of Bishnoi's 3rd over. Balbirnie 30, Kempfer 18, Ireland 63 for 3, need 123 of 61. And Kempfer pulls out the unorthodox shot, the reverse sweep, and doesn't really get a hold of it. Ravi Bishnoi has his 2nd wicket. Yeah, that's a reverse sweep, and he finds the fielder. There were two Indian fielders in very close proximity, and that means that Curtis Kempfer has to go. Caught Dubé, bowled Ravi Bishnoi 18, and at the end of the 10th, Ireland are 63 for 4. The 6 runs they made this over cost them 1 wicket, and the current run rate is 6.3, while the required run rate is now 12.3. Andy Balbirnie is on 30, and Ravi Bishnoi has bowled 3 overs, conceded 24 runs, and has now also taken 2 wickets. And George Dockrell is in at number 6 for Ireland, the veteran. 125 international T20 matches, a high score of 58, an average approaching 19. And India are continuing with Shivam Dubé to Andy Balbirnie. First one is a single, bringing the fresh number 6 onto the strike. Dubé, right arm over the wicket to the right-handed George Dockrell, who defends this one down, and there is no run. As we see replays of that misguided reverse sweep from Curtis Kempfer. Third ball of the over from Shivam Dubé. And this is played out to mid-off. They take a single. Dockrell off the mark. Ireland are 65 for 4. Next one, are India starting to regret giving Shivam Dubé a second over while there is still top order batting out there? 6 runs to Andy Balbirnie. Ireland 71 for 4. He hammered that. The next one is a dot from Balbirnie. It's a slower bouncer outside the off stump. Who does Shivam Dubé think he is? Neil Wagner? Probably not, but works nonetheless. The next one, though, is a really bad ball, which Balbirnie whips over square leg for 6. Absolutely whipped. Ireland now 77 for 4 at the end of the 11th over. 14 runs from this 11th over. The current run rate is 7. The required run rate is 12.11. Andy Balbirnie is 43 of 33, and George Dockrell is 1 of 2. Shivam Dube has bowled 2 overs for 18 runs. And apparently, Jasprit Bumrah has also seen that that Shivam Dube experiment is probably not his best idea in this match, and he brings himself back on again. The captain with his second over. He conceded 8 in the first, but there were 5 wides in there. Or did he? 7 or 8 in the first over. The first ball of his second spell, or his second over, if you will, is a bye, as it nips back, beats inside edge and Samson, and is fielded. No, it's not beaten Samson, but he can't field it cleanly, so they take a quick bye. Next one is a single by Balbirnie, bringing Dockrell back onto strike. Bumrah has now conceded 9 runs in 1.3 overs. Over the wicket. And he plays that out to sweeper cover. It's slightly over pitched by Bumrah. 2 full, maybe. Probably a bit too full, too close to the stumps without being really a good Yorker. That's a single to Dockrell. Now to Balbirnie, and it's fielded at cover. Point. I'm sorry. It's fielded at point. And there is no run. One last single ball to come in the over now. Bumrah coming in over the wicket to Andy Balbirnie. Clips that off his toes for a single to mid-on. Okay, and Ireland, after 12 overs, are 81 for 4. They made 4 runs of the second Jasprit Bumrah over of the match. The current run rate is 6.75. The required run rate is 13.12. And Ireland need 105 from 48. And Ravi Bishnoi is to continue for India, while there's a graph showing us that Jasprit Bumrah has been touching 142 kilometers per hour in his second over, at least for one ball. But he was consistently above 130. So that's good to hear in light of the fact that he's back from a very serious injury of his back. And as we all know, fast bowling is not really that healthy, especially not for your back. Well, the first ball of Ravi Bishnoi's over is taken for 4 by Andy Balbirnie, bringing Ireland to 85 for 4, meaning they need 101 to win of 46 balls. Next one is a dot though. Bishnoi coming in for the third ball, and it's played out to the covers. Looks like towards the covers. This camera angle is weird, actually. I think it's played out to the covers, and that's his half century. Take a bow, Andrew Balbirnie. 50 of 39 balls. It's, I think, the second half century of the match. The other one was Gaikwad. Yes. The next one is played out to deep mid-wicket by Dockrell, bringing Balbirnie back onto strike. Bishnoi now has figures of 2 for 30 from 3.4 overs. Ireland 87 for 4. The target is below 100 now for Ireland. They need 98 of 43. The fifth ball of the over is another single to Balbirnie this time, bringing Dockrell back onto strike. Bishnoi over the wicket and is taken to the cleaners straight above his head by George Dockrell for 6 runs, bringing Dockrell on to 9 of 7, and Bishnoi has figures of 2 for 37 from 4 overs now. End of the 13th over. Ireland are 94 for 4, 13 runs from the 13th. The current run rate is 7.23. The required run rate is now 13.14. Ireland need a further 92 from 42 balls. George Dockrell is on 9 from 7 and Andy Balbirnie on 51 from 40. As I said, Ravi Bishnoi has figures of 4 overs bowled, 37 runs conceded and 2 wickets taken. Tell your friends, ask your friends, do Ireland have a chance here? Can they keep this series alive? Tell us what you think in the chat, on Twitter, wherever we're. I'm on Twitter at LinuxLair, as you can see on your screen here. Drop me a tweet. We'll read them out here on air. If you have any questions in the chat, I'll have a look on. I have an eye on that one as well. My personal opinion, this is a tough fight for Ireland here, as Washington Sundar is back into the attack for India. He's over the wicket to Balbirnie. There is a dot, and the second ball is dragged from outside the off stump, swept into the leg side where it is fielded by mid-wicket, and it's enough time for Balbirnie and Dockrell to take a couple. This next one is, what is that? What is that? There is a regulation catch dropped at mid-wicket. It's Gaikwad again, who dropped the catch earlier. This one is much easier than the one he dropped before. The one he dropped that point was in the air. It was a jumping catch. He got his fingertips to the ball and but couldn't hold on. And here he is down on one knee, has the hands cupped and just drops it. It's a regulation catch. It's a sitter, as you say. Not a good showing from Ruturaj Gaikwad in the field today. Very different story with the bat, but in the field, this has not been good from Gaikwad. There was another single after that. Then there is a wide by Sundar to Balbirnie. It's very wide outside the off stump from Sundar, so it is rightfully called a wide. This is followed by another single from Balbirnie. There is another wide outside off from Washington Sundar, this time to George Dockrell. Who then makes one run off the last ball of the 14th over. 8 runs in a total, 2 of them wides. Ireland are 102 for 4. The current run rate is 7.28. The required run rate is now 14 though. Ireland need 84 from 36 balls, and George Dockrell is 11 of 9, and Andy Balbirnie is 55 of 44. Washington Sundar, 2 overs bowled, 19 runs conceded, no wickets taken. And India decide to bring back Prasidh Krishna, the right fast medium, who already bowled 2 overs, took 2 wickets in his first one. Krishna back into the attack then, and Krishna goes over the wicket to the right-handed Irish batsman. Looks like it. Huh. Oh, they're playing replays of Balbirnie's half century at the moment. All right, now we have Krishna. He's taken for a single off the first ball of his over by Dockrell. Now they're okay. I can see that Andy Balbirnie. It's a pretty good half century for him. Krishna has to abort his next delivery as the cap he had handed to the umpire seems to have come loose and landed in his run-up, and now he is in. It's clipped out to mid-wicket by Balbirnie. They take another single. That brings George Dockrell onto strike. He's on 12 of 10. Krishna is adjusting his field, but I can't see what adjustments he made. There's another single, drags a ball outside the off stump to long on there, and they go through for a single. Next one is a wide. It's called a wide. I think it's on, has to be on height. Yes, it's a lifter. It's too short, bounces too high, and is absolutely correctly called a wide. The next one is flayed over sweep down to sweeper cover, over cover, over point to deeper cover. Let's call it that. He's flayed in the air, over point, and sweeper cover came around, fielded that one, and Ireland take 2. Penultimate ball of the over. Andy Balbirnie facing up. Krishna coming in and too short, and Balbirnie pulls that 4-6. Rohit Sharma couldn't have done it better himself. It's a flat 6. It's what they like to call a maximum over at Guerrilla Cricket. Look them up if you do not know them. Keep an eye out for them during the World Cup. They will cover a ton of games, which gives me the opportunity to cover games I think are interesting in German for the very, very first time. So if you speak German, look out for that. Next one is played out. Oh, what was going on there? What was going on there? There was Prasid bowled to Balbirnie. Balbirnie played it out to... Where did it go? If you don't know what's going on, there's a very comedy run out special going on here. Yes, the umpires have just confirmed that was out. Looks like Balbirnie played the ball to the outfield. They went through for a single, which should have been enough. I didn't really see what happened there, but apparently they decided to come back for a very ill-judged second, and George Dockrell is run out by Ravi Bishnoi and Sanju Samson for 13. It's a very ugly mix up between the wickets, and yeah. Well, that brings in Mark Adair. But he is at the non-strikers end for the 16th over, then, because this is the last ball of the 15th over, and Ireland are 115 for 5. 13 runs, one very preventable wicket. The current run rate 7.66, and the required rate over 14.2 to be exact. Andy Balbirnie is 65 of 48 balls, and Prasid Krishna has figures of 3 overs, 16 runs and 2 wickets. Arshdeep Singh back into the attack to face not the number 7 Market Dare, but Andy Balbirnie. The set Andy Balbirnie, who is on 65, and there are 2 singles of the first 2 balls of Arshdeep's. Let me see. Third over. 2 singles of Arshdeep's third over. The third one is launched by Balbirnie into the leg side. A mighty heave, and it's gone for 6 more runs, and Ireland are 123 for 5 after 15.3 overs. And judging by the reaction of the Irish faithful in the crowd, they believe. Balbirnie now on 72. Next one, fishes outside off, nicks off, caught behind. Andy Balbirnie, caught Sampson, bowled Arshdeep, 72. And now it's the Indian fans' time to stand up and celebrate as Andy Balbirnie is livid with himself, and Arshdeep throws a kiss to the spectators. This means that Ireland's number 8 is now in, and that's Barry McCarthy. And McCarthy has played 44 matches, has a high score of 51 and averages around 15.88 to be exact. But he survives his first delivery from Arshdeep Singh, even though he can't score of it. There's a dot. And the last ball of the 16th over to come now, and clipped away into the leg side, fielded behind square, and there is a single. So the number 8 is now starting to hog the strike for Ireland. That's a good sign. End of the 16th over, Ireland are 124 for 6. 9 runs from this over at the cost of 1 wicket. The current run rate is 7.75. The required run rate is 15.5. Ireland needs 62 from 24 balls. Barry McCarthy on 1 of 2 and Mark Adair on 1 of 1. Arshdeep has bowled his third over. He has conceded 22 runs and taken 1 wicket. That one is the prize one of Andy Balbirnie, who had to go for 72. Well, and now the captain is bringing himself back on, Jasprit Bumrah, back into the attack. And his first ball over the wicket to McCarthy brings Ireland another single. Let's see if he can work his magic here again. Would be very nice to see Bumrah in form, on song, as they say. Oh, this one a slower off cutter, and Adair misjudges this one completely, gets nothing on it, through it goes to Sampson. There is no run. Ireland require 61 of 22 balls to win this match. Next one to Adair. Played back into the covers, fielded. There is a single. Or is this more long off? This camera is weird. It tends to lose the pitch when it's focused on the fielder. This is a bit sloppy. Anyway, single was taken. Bumrah into McCarthy now. And this is high in the air. I think it's into the leg side. Yes, it is. And this time Bishnoi makes no mistake. Barry McCarthy caught Ravi Bishnoi, bowled Bumrah 2. Strike rate of 50. Ireland are 126 for 7. This brings Craig Young out at number 9. One would think that Ireland need a real miracle to win this from here, but you never know. You never know. But it's good to see. It's good to see Bumrah back in competitive cricket and taking wickets at an international level, because despite what other people will tell you, this Irish team, they are no slouches. They may not win the next T20 World Cup, but they are always good for an upset. At least, I would say. Well, Will Young off the mark. First ball with a single. Excuse me. Last ball of the over. Mark Adair is facing Jasprit Bumrah, clips it into the leg side, and it is fielded for another single. It's the classic deep mid-wicket flick by Mark Adair. And Ireland are 128 for 7 after 17 overs. We have 4 runs, 1 wicket in this 17th over. The current run rate is 7.52. The required run rate is 19.33. The last 5 overs have produced 50 runs and 3 wickets. That means the run rate over the last 5 overs has been 10, but Ireland have been losing wickets relatively regularly. At this stage in the game, in their innings, India really pressed the accelerator, which they could do because they still had some wickets in hand. Ireland in a completely different spot, but unimpressed by the match situation. Mark Adair takes Arshdeep Singh deep out behind the stands. 6 runs. Off the first ball of Arshdeep's 4th over. Jasprit Bumrah is bowling Arshdeep Singh out in the 18th. So 6 runs, first ball for Mark Adair. Second ball is kind of clipped out to long on. I think he tried to clip it, but didn't really get a hold of it and just played it to long on for another single. Third ball of the 18th over, Ireland 35 for 7. Here's Arshdeep Singh. And he aborts his run-up. Interesting. He is coming over the wicket to the right-handed batsman here. And Young aims to drive a big hoik, maybe over cow corner, misjudges it, misses it completely, makes no sort of contact. There's another dot for the Indian bowling attack. Not that they really need it badly, as there's another dot as Young holds down a Yorker outside the off stump. Bumrah seems very pleased with his bowling attack on his second match back in international cricket. Arshdeep Singh in for his 5th ball of the over. Another dot ball, pressure mounting on, well, pressure not mounting, pressure approaching lethal levels now for the Irish batsman, one would think. Another dot to round out the over as Young yet again fails to make any contact with an Arshdeep Singh delivery, goes straight through to Sampson. There is no run. After 18 overs, Ireland are 135 for 7. The current run rate is 7.5 and the required run rate is 25.5. Ireland need 51 from the last 2 overs. Prasid Krishna is to bowl out now, and he is facing Mark Adair, who punishes him straight down the ground, over his head, off the first ball. That's a cracking 6, and it takes Ireland to 141 for 7. Second ball of the over. Second straight 6. Adair plays over Krishna's head. Very, very straight. Textbook technique. This is really good stuff here from Adair. The next one, he tries to smash another maximum, but mistimes this completely, misses everything. No contact on this swing, a dot ball, and Ireland need 39 of 9. All right, and another dot ball. Krishna has now conceded consecutive 6s and held them to consecutive dots in this over. Ireland, after 18.4, are 147 for 7, and they need 39 to win of 8. All right. And that's all she wrote after 19 overs. Ireland are 148 for 7. They need 38 to win of 6, which they can only do if the Indian bowlers give them any presence as they need more than 36 of this last over, which means they need wides. All they can do is hit sixes. So mathematically, the maximum possible is 36. It's all the Irish have in their hands. They need help from the Indians here. And of course, Jasprit Bumrah is bowling out in the 20th. He was at one stage probably the best death bowler in all the world, and together with his partner in crime, Lasith Malinga, the most dominant death bowling attack in the IPL for the Mumbai Indians. Okay, so Jasprit Bumrah is bowling absolute fire here. He has held Adair to 3 dots now in the 20th over. He's coming in again, and Adair has chipped that in the air into the leg side, and this time there is no error from Tilak Varma. No, he didn't make any errors this match, but there's no hesitation from Tilak Varma, and Mark Adair is gone. Caught Tilak Varma, bowled Bumrah for 23 of 15 balls, and there is Josh Little now out in the middle at number 10 for Ireland. Josh Little, who has played 60 matches for Ireland and has made 93 runs in them all combined. Bumrah now to Little, and it's a Yorker which Little does well to keep out because it was on the stumps. It's ducked back out to Jasprit Bumrah, who feels it and looks for a chance of a run out at the non-striker's end. Doesn't have it. Keeps the ball. Last ball of the match. And it's kind of an in-swinger. It swings very late, and it misses everything. It misses Little's bat. It misses Samson's gloves. Misses everything. So final delivery of the match is 4 byes. Ireland end on 152 for 8. It's a wicket maiden for Jasprit Bumrah. Yes, and India win by 33 runs, clinch the series. Yes. Give me just a minute before I'll be back with the post-match summary, analysis, celebration, whatever you want to call it. Just a few minutes. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back. And welcome back, everyone, to basically the postmortem of this match, the second match of this India tour of Ireland from Malahide in Dublin. Well, India won by 33 runs. Didn't look that bad for Ireland during the chase for a very, very long time. I have to say, this was a pretty good effort from Ireland, even though ESPN Cricinfo, the win probability predictor stuff, had Ireland only for a few overs near the end of the Indian innings as the probable winners. From there on, it was all India. They had them as favorites shortly after the fall of the fourth Indian wicket, but that massive acceleration and partnership near the end of the Indian innings basically sealed their fate. But during their innings, they were keeping up with the Indian scoring rate relatively well, one would have to say, until they came to that point in their innings where the Indians accelerated massively and Ireland just couldn't match that. They had lost too many wickets by that point. There were no experienced or specialist batsmen still out in the middle, and it was basically all India from there, and it was done and dusted at the latest with the 20th over and Ireland still requiring more than the 36 they had in their own hand. So, yeah, what can we say? I think it was a very entertaining match. Still, we had some very good bowling. We had some very average bowling. We had a comedy run out. We had Jasprit Bumrah taking 2 wickets. We had massive sixes. We had ill-judged reverse sweeps, and some drama. What else can you expect from such a cricket match, from a T20? Now I think this was a very enjoyable game, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let's just go through the scorecard rather quickly, and let's see what happened. Ireland won the toss and chose to insert India. We had Yashasvi Jaiswal, caught Camphor, bowled Young 18, Ruturaj Gaikwad caught Tector, bowled McCarthy 58, Tilak Varma caught Dockrell, bowled McCarthy 1, Sanju Samson bowled White 40, Rinku Singh caught Young, bowled Adair 38, Shivam Dubé not out 22, and Washington Sundar not out none. There were 8 extras, one of which was a bye, 2 were leg byes, 5 were wides, meaning Ireland amassed 185 for 5 from their 20 overs at a run rate of 9.25. Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravi Bishnoi and Prasidh Krishna did not bat. The wickets fell at 1 for 29. Yashasvi Jaiswal after 3.4 overs. 2 for 34, Tilak Varma after 4.1 overs, 3 for 105, Sanju Samson after 12.2 overs, 4 for 129, Ruturaj Gaikwad after 15.1 overs, 5 for 184, Rinku Singh after 19.5 overs. The Irish bowling card, Mark Adair, 4 overs, no maidens, 36 runs, 1 wicket, economy 9.0. Josh Little, 4 overs, no maidens, 48 runs, no wickets, economy 12. Barry McCarthy, 4 overs, 36 runs, 2 wickets, economy 9. Craig Young, 4 overs, no maidens, 29 runs, 1 wicket, economy 7.25. And finally, Ben White, 4 overs, no maidens, 33 runs, 1 wicket, economy 8.25. That meant the target for Ireland was 186 runs from 20 overs. And the Irish batting card looked like this. Andy Balbirnie caught Samson, bowled Arshdeep Singh, 72. Paul Sterling, the captain, caught Arshdeep Singh, bowled Prasid Krishna, 0. Lorcan Tucker, the keeper, caught Gaikwad, bowled Prasid Krishna, none. Harry Tector bowled Ravi Bishnoi, 7. Curtis Kempfer caught Dubé, bowled Bishnoi, 18. George Dockrell run out Ravi Bishnoi, Sanju Samson, 13. Mark Adair caught Tilak Varma, bowled Bumrah, 23. Barry McCarthy caught Ravi Bishnoi, bowled Bumrah, 2. Craig Young not out 1. Josh Little not out none. 16 extras, of which 5 were byes and 11 were wides, means that Ireland made 152 for 8 in their total 20 overs at a run rate of 7.6. The wickets fell on 1 for 19, Paul Sterling, 2.3 overs. 2 for 19, Lorcan Tucker, 2.6 overs. 4 for 63, Curtis Kempfer, 9.6 overs. 5 for 115, George Dockrell after 14.6 overs. 6 for 123, Andy Balbirnie after 15.4 overs. 7 for 126, Barry McCarthy after 16.4 overs. And 8 for 148, Mark Adair after 19.4 overs. India used more bowlers. They had the captain, Jasprit Bumrah, 4 overs, 1 maiden, the only maiden of the match, 15 runs, 2 wickets at an economy of 3.75. Arshdeep Singh, 4 overs, no maidens, 29 runs, 1 wicket, economy 7.25. Prasid Krishna, 4 overs, no maidens, 29 runs, 2 wickets, economy 7.25. Ravi Bishnoi, 4 overs, no maidens, 37 runs, 2 wickets, economy 9.25. Washington Sundar, 2 over, no maidens, 19 runs, no wickets, economy 9.5. And Shivam Dubé, 2 overs, no maidens, 18 runs, no wickets at an economy of 9.0. Player of the match is officially Rinku Singh for his 38 of 21. In his second match, and I think the first time he scored any runs in T20 internationals. So, yeah, well done, Rinku Singh. Well, I know this series is done and dusted, and the final match on Wednesday is a dead rubber, since India have now won the first 2 matches in the 3-match series. If you liked this here, you are very welcome to join me again on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central European Standard Time. That is, I think, 3 p.m. British Standard Time. And I don't know what that is in Indian Standard Time. I'm sorry. But I will cover the third match on Wednesday as well. As I said, from 4 p.m. Central European Standard Time. Well, you're very welcome to join me then. Until then, thank you for your attention. Have a good night and hopefully till Wednesday. Bye.